Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 241, Saturday. Okay, hopefully it's all going alright. Saturday debunks. Saturday video analysis and other UFO topics. Let me know how it's sounding out there, guys. Going down. Hello. Hello. Good to be back. I'm back again for another live stream. Be civil on the side, no swearing, and just have some fun. Please like and share as well. Helps up the channel. Okay, we're back to the desktop. I was using my new intro tool, my control panel down the bottom here. Seemed to be working alright by the sounds of it. Although I see Google's still 30 seconds behind, which is kind of off-putting. The preview window they have. So yeah, got a few things to go over today. So what are we up to now? Who we got with us? Okay, got David and Susan and United Amendment Outpost, whatever that is. Okay, so welcome to the OT channel. We do UFO topics, video analysis, real time, which is a wee bit harder than doing it offline. 241. So I call this Saturday video analysis. Can't use the word debunk because it puts off people, apparently. And other UFO topics, of course. Viral videos. Now, it's funny how the concurrent users drops from 7 to 4 when we start. Is that all the robots that Google hires to watch in? Yeah, so if you watched my recent uploads, we did a free-for-all open lines, and we only had 13 people visit in the middle of the week. I'm not sure why, but we only had 3 watching. So that was your opportunity to come and tell your UFO stories when we did that one. But because we got Robert sick with the coronavirus, apparently, he won't be doing his on Saturday, but I might do a special afternoon free for all instead. And maybe we can try again. So yeah, so my last one I did a tutorial how to use Minicam. and seemed to go alright. I just recorded it to the hard drive because I was using quite a lot of CPU to do it. And I was using a fresh copy inside a virtual window, which is not the ideal thing to do, but it seemed to work okay mostly. Apart from when I tried to capture a application window, it was blank. So it's obviously a bug somewhere in the layered windows part of it. So I created this animation here. We'll play it here full time, first time, full time. So when we get some new people visiting us, we can just simply welcome them to the channel by clicking on this button here. We're looking at you all. So this is the version with music. Some I wrote a long time ago, called Quantum. It's meant to simulate an atom, you know, the rotating around this nucleus. And of course I didn't fade it off when I was doing the tutorial, but that doesn't matter too much. But plus I got the one without the music here too, which I can make it into a window too, hopefully. I like how it zooms in there with the eyes. I should have changed it to a grey alien, I think. But yeah, it is what it is. It's sort of repeating at the moment. Let's see. I forgot to untick it again to let it go forward. So yeah, that's working all good. So welcome to the Out There channel. You got some aliens waving at you. Some old PD stuff found on a website. So they said it was PD anyway, so hopefully it is. From like a 1980s website. I had a whole collection of stuff there. Some good artists out there. So yeah, if anyone wants to have a go at creating something for the channel, I could add a button especially for your animation. So UFOs flying across the screen, firing lasers, anything like that. Aliens running across the screen. Yeah, so anything that's pretty cool and can add a bit of fun to the channel. So what are we going to do today? Well, we've got third phase of the moon nonsense to cover. We got the melted car attacked by a UFO apparently to finish off because we just found it and couldn't find the information that we were after. But I have found an interview of the case, well, the website owner for National UFO Center. So I better just check to see if all that's loaded. Better see if it's working. It's a wee bit slower when we go live. So there's the voice clip. I also found this one here, Alien Encounter US. Don't have much information there. Like zero. Only a title. Filed police report of my windows in my car have been melted, as well as side mirror. So it sounds like maybe you can check that one out a bit more, see if it's on the MUFON database. Looks like it's been clipped off. So this one's claiming you got attacked by a UFO beam or something. Or it could be just a hoax one. 2019, so it was last year. So we need to plug that number in, just see if there's any information that's missing on this, on the main MUFON. Where is it? Let's do that now. Because we're seeing if any other cars had this idea that they were being hit by something invisible. A visible beam that melts the side of the car. Could be some sort of natural thing that happens. You know, energy is energy. Interdimensional. It may not necessarily be aliens and UFOs. Okay, well, it's got no pictures. UFO observed. That's not the one, is it? Where's the case number? It's gone wrong, isn't it? 10. Always cuts off the last digit, I think. 1046 8. I'll just check that again. 1046. Always cuts off the last one when you paste it. 3. Kind of weird. Probably because it puts spaces in front and it truncates. Pretty crappy database form, actually. I used to do SQL web pages. Oh yeah, does this one sound like the right one? We've got no pictures. Right, blank. That's what we found on the other one too. And it looks like exactly the same. Saving glass, that's where it got to. I wonder if there's any more information to that one, whether it's been added to. I wish they'd add the investigators' information to that to see whether it was a hoax. Anyway, we'll just go through the tabs here. So this is what we'll be talking about first, the car. And I found a interview here, which I'll post a link. And also, he's got an interest in own personal sighting that he told to Richard Dolan. And of course, we got Billy Meier. And we got the Korean War GIs. And we got Third Phase to deal with. And some debunks from UFO of interest. So yeah, so let's start, I suppose. We'll just listen to this clip first. I'll just hopefully the audio will be loud enough. Let's just give it a play first.
How bad things have been. Now, I wanted to ask you about a specific case that you were really excited about when I first talked to you, and I checked it out on the website, and the more I looked at it, the more interested and excited I got. And it's almost, we don't even know really if it's even UFO related. It's this, for lack of a better term, car mutilation. That happened on November 4th, 2008 in Illinois. Talk a little bit about this case, and folks we'll try and get some linkage up to the actual case report so people can see the pictures of this car. I mean, it's really strange.
Yep. Let me take our listeners back to the site of the incident, and I agree with you. We have no evidence, certainly no proof, that it was in any way UFO related. But a young woman left her apartment, a university student, left her apartment at about 9:15 on Tuesday night, the 4th of November, 2008. A late model Mitsubishi Japanese four-door sedan, black. She was headed for the nearest interstate. And as she was driving down a 3-lane road in the center lane, suddenly her car allegedly was shoved to the right, one lane to the right. And she was shocked by it. And she noticed when she looked at her rearview mirror that outer rearview mirror was missing. So she was so intrigued by what had happened, given that there were no cars in her proximity, there were no pedestrians, no animals, no nothing on the road. Road was virtually deserted, I gather. She stopped her car within a half a block or a block, got out of her car and surveyed the left side of it, and it was crumpled in a most peculiar fashion.
Yeah.
And she called the police. Now, that's significant because most people who are hoaxing things don't want the police involved.
Exactly.
Submitting a falsified police report is serious business, can get you in a lot of trouble. Well, she called the police, and they came, did a police report, and we still don't know what has happened, but the interesting thing, is where, in my opinion, the case grows very interesting. Senator Barack Obama won the election for the Oval Office on that night. In fact, this incident that I just described, involving a black car in Chicago, happened within minutes of Senator Barack Obama being declared the winner in the presidential race. Now, is this a coincidence? If it is an immense coincidence to have a black car mutilated, the left side of it mutilated, and I invite any of our listeners to go to the National UFO Reporting Center website and look at the photos. If you can set up a link for that, so much the better. I am mystified by this case, and I've received many, many, many emails from body shop operators, accident investigators, and to the man, they all state that they've never in their entire career seen such damage done to a car. And it's important to note that the damage does not involve scuffing of the paint or the surface. The metal of the doors, and they were metallic doors, not plastic, the metal was just pushed in a most exotic fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can see from the photos the nature of the damage, and everybody I've talked to and communicated with is flabbergasted by this.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the perfect word for it, because I had talked to you about it, and once you see the pictures, it takes you to a whole new level of mystification of this thing. It's bizarre. It's baffling of what possibly could have done this. Now,
it is.
I presume since she called the police and everything, we can kind of rule out that this was just something that she did. Maybe she had a couple of drinks or something and messed up her car or something crazy like that. Chances are, the police would have caught on to that right away.
Yeah, we can dismiss that. The nature of the evidence, I think, automatically rules that possibility out. And the other interesting thing is the investigator to whom I gave this case reported to me on the 16th of February this year that the evidence from the case, that is, the doors that had been carved out of the doors to be replaced, went missing, as did a copy of the report. He had taken paint samples into a laboratory to have them analyzed, and on the same day that the doors went missing, an individual walked into the university laboratory office and said he was working with the investigator. Could he have a copy of the report and the paint chips?
Huh.
And both items of evidence disappeared.
Wow. See, that speaks to something else going on that we don't even, who would, why? Yep. The question comes up, why would anyone want that stuff unless they didn't want people like us to look into it and try and figure out what happened? So, Now, as we said, you've been doing this for like 15 years and taking countless reports, and I'm sure it's been wearing on you, just the grind of it all. Do you have sort of an end game in mind as far as your tenure as the director of the National UFO Reporting Center? Are you ever going to, do you have any
I don't know.
Plans to be the Bob Gribble to the next Peter Devonport, if you will.
I don't know. People ask me that question all the time, and I don't have an answer for them. They're people who call me all the time say they'd like to take the hotline over, and so far I haven't consented to that. I have no end game. And this is, in fact, a problem facing every UFO investigator. What do you do with all your files? I'm sitting here in a room with files, boxes, file cabinets stacked to the ceiling. What do you do with this information? I'm certainly not going to give it to the Library of Congress. So what we need is a college of ufology, where investigators, as they grow older and get out of the field, can place their files on deposit with them so that information can be filed and made available to investigators and to the public. But we don't have that. We don't have any financing. I've offered to provide some of this information to the University of Washington in Seattle, and they turned me down.
Okay, so that is a clip that I got from this interview here, which I'll post and boost it up and enhanced it a wee bit. Hopefully it came out alright. Did the audio sound alright there, Susan? So yeah, so this is Peter Devonport here. We'll read out his bio. Obviously he started his website in 1995, I think it was, probably competing with MUFON. People submitting them reports to his website there. So got to remember it's UFO. It was called UFORC.org. See here it's got a UFOcenter.com. There's another website that sort of copies the name and is not Peter Devonport. It's called UFO National UFO Center.com, was not him, which I found out when I was searching the database there. So is this same website? Enter site. Looks like a front page. You can see here it switches to another website, NUFORC.org. So yeah, I did actually search for that particular report on car on his database. Down here on the side, we got case reports, historic reports, and he let's see, what's that one? It's got a year number here. Where's current ones again? Maybe it wasn't that one. Hang on, let me just have a look. Report database, that was the one. He breaks it up into event date or state, shape of UFO, and date posted. So I tried to look at the state and find Illinois in the list. Where is it? Should be here somewhere. Yeah. And it's got 2,500 cases listed here. I'll search it again just in case I missed it. So I guess that's in the total database. Doesn't sound much. I suppose MUFON gets most of the reports. And maybe they get a report as well. Who knows? So do Control F and search for Melt car. And it comes up with none. What else could you say? Mutilated. Mutual, I think that's how you spell it. It's none again. Black car. We got Black Delta Wing. We've got 75 batches there, so that's probably going. I think it's in Canada, isn't it? So they use the term car like UK does in New Zealand. But car is just an automobile. So we got car mentioned there. I'm looking to black car. So it doesn't come with black car. But it looks like it's picking up first letters, names as well. So yeah. It looks like it's place names only. Oh right, there's one there. But I did try to find it. Take pictures of a reddish orange sphere. So there's probably some interesting reports here that we can go over sometime together and have a look. Hopefully it's got pictures of drawings and stuff. But let's just have a look at one of them anyway. See what they have here. It's very similar to MUFON. That one hasn't got much. Doesn't give any indication whether it's got pictures on it by the looks of it. But yeah, so if you can find the report, go ahead. But I didn't have much luck. What else? Number one. 2008 it happened, and of course that radio report was 2012 with the update. It's very strange that they removed the car doors and put new ones on, and the original car doors have vanished. That sounds very Men in Blacky, doesn't it? Straight away. So we got 10 references to 2008. Let's see, just go through it. We've got the triangle. I might just have a quick look at that one. See if there's any picture links. I'm not seeing anything there. And we lose our search place, don't we? Right. That could be the one. Maybe I missed it completely. A young woman was driving at 40-45 miles per hour along Lake Cook. That sounds like it, doesn't it? 4th of November 2008. So he has got it here. It's funny how... Okay, it's got 2009 there posted. So it took a year. Oh, right. How many months? I've got to remember you got the month first, haven't you? Took 3 months to report it. So that's the one there, the full report. Maybe we'll just read it out, see if anything's changed. Copyright images. So where's the images? Where's the link? PDF. Wow, that's interesting. There's no link to images. It's kind of weird, isn't it? So let's just have a read of this one, because this is the original report. What's interesting too, the woman went silent. She wouldn't discuss it anymore. That's almost like she got visited by the Men in Black, right? Let's see if the reader will read it out. No, not that one. Not that one. Should be that one. Yeah, let's see if it works.
Northbrook, Illinois, Tuesday, November 4th, 2008, 21:20 hours. The investigating police officer could not provide an adequate explanation for the damage. He noted that there was no damaged paint, and no animal hair, feathers, or blood evident on the damaged area of the car. NUFOC has passed the case along to Mr. S.
Yeah, let me just stop that. I seem to skip a load of stuff. Just do a chunk at a time, maybe.
The investigating police officer could not provide an adequate explanation for the damage.
Damn. That's got a bug in it. Let's try it that old way then.
A young woman was driving at 40-45 miles per hour along Lake Cook Road when her car suddenly lurched to the right for no reason that was apparent to her. There were no cars within sight on the road, and she had not seen any pedestrian or animal near the car. She stopped her car immediately, got out, and apparently was flabbergasted by the appearance of the left side of her automobile.
Okay, so we can get around the bugs. I'm a bug troubleshooter. Susan, if you're out there, maybe just post some links to our Facebook group and Discord if people want to join the after show. They can visit those pages. If they want to talk about their UFO experiences, we could probably arrange for them to come on tomorrow, maybe. So yeah, get with it, guys. Why is it not working? Sure, I clicked it. Come on. It's playing up. Okay, let's try that again.
The investigating police officer could not provide an adequate explanation for the damage. He noted that there was no damaged paint, and no animal hair, feathers, or blood evident on the damaged area of the car. NUFOC has passed the case along to Mr. Sam Maranto, Illinois State Director for the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, for follow-up investigation. We have no reason to believe that the incident was UFO-related, but we have no explanation for how the extensive damage to the car could have occurred. If any of the visitors to our site have ever witnessed this type of damage to a car, we would welcome comments or suggestions. I slowed down, and as I got my bearings, I realized that my left side mirror was knocked off, and so I turned right onto rear drive and put on my hazard lights. I got out of the car and saw that I had several dents on the side of my car. There were two that were deeper and larger than the others. One was located in front of the rear wheel, and the other was in the center of the driver door. I called 911 to file a police report, and the officer said that I was sideswiped by another car, but there were not any cars around me before or after the hit, and also there were no paint scratches from other cars on my car. Images copyright 2008. Click for larger images. I know exactly what happened to her car. I have seen 3 hovering craft, one of which took off and became invisible over my head. They were so bright, orangey yellow, that you can't make out the shape. About the size of 2 cars.
Who knows though? Her or him? The investigator. Because she mentioned no UFO, invisible object sideswiped her, right? So it's kind of weird. You can see there was no blood. You can see there was no scratches on the side. It looked like it had literally been put in the oven and melted a wee bit. Aluminum, as they call it in America, or aluminium in the rest of the world. Spelt the same way, said 2 different ways. So yeah, I'll give you the link to this report. We finally found it. Yay! Melted car reports. So they sent it to him first, which is kind of interesting. Then he sent it on to MUFON. So yeah, you can search on all those other ones if you want to. Maybe work through the database for some stories. Where's the website that I got it from? So you want to listen to that full interview. It's on this site here. I'm not too sure who's hosting it. Boya Audio. And it has some recap information here. This is the reason I found it about the melted car. It's very hard to get hold of the interview and information because it's so clamped down with copyright that we can't look at it and expand on it. Yeah, I'm not sure who's hosting it. Peter Devonport is mentioned there, but yeah, it doesn't say who's hosting it. But yeah, you can download the full interview there. It's quite interesting. MP3 full interview. I found that last minute last night before I was going to head off to bed. So we can close that one down, and I'll give you a link to the images. This is obviously supplied by him. So this is what would have been on that report, even though there doesn't seem to be any link. So it looks like he interviewed in 2017 on Midnight in the Desert. Was it after Art Bell died? It probably was, wasn't it? So they talk about it being previous. Let's see, where does it say? Previous show images. So I'm not sure where the link to the old show is, but they don't seem to provide it here. Kind of stupid, isn't it? Not sure what that one's about. Strange looking UFO with a side antenna. But yeah, we'll just read out this bio on him. See how it goes.
Bio. Peter Devonport has been director of the National UFO Reporting Center since 1994. Peter has served as the director of investigations for the Washington chapter of the Mutual UFO Network. Peter has had an active interest in the UFO phenomenon from his early boyhood. He experienced his first UFO sighting over the St. Louis Municipal Airport in the summer of 1954, and he investigated his first UFO case during the summer of 1965 in Exeter, New Hampshire. Peter has been witness to several anomalous events, possibly UFO-related, including a dramatic sighting over Baja California in February 1990, and several nighttime sightings over Washington state during 1992. Peter received his undergraduate education at Stanford University in California.
So this one's actually qualified. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. But he could do one, couldn't he? He could video his reports as they come in, and he'd be even more popular. But as you know, creating videos is very time consuming. But it depends how you do it. I've got used to doing some quick, easy ways to do it. Yeah. So yeah, he needs to team up with someone like me, I guess. But yeah, seems like a good dude. He's often been doing news chat on Coast to Coast AM though. So that's not good for reputation straight away. That's a reputation killer. Midnight in the Desert is okay though. Art Bell. So yeah, I can close that one down now. And of course, so we got his a story here. Alright, so I got the link to the Google Drive here that you can download as well if you want to. Melted car clip. So if you just want that bit, there you go, I've done it for you. Close down. So yeah, last bit would be having listened to his interview clip here on Dolan show, and I'll post the link in a minute. Hopefully the sound's working still. We got that problem going. Turns out they did some code changes and stuffed up the plugin that stops the autoplaying. That turned out to be in the end.
Perhaps 10, maybe.
So let's make it safe for fair use. Although we don't actually have a full interview here. Playing clip under fair use. So we can just edit, transform our whole thing that we're putting together here from bits and pieces Okay, so let's just try that.
Maybe 15 seconds. Back in, I believe it was July of 1954, I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. My father worked out at the airport. He was the station manager for a major American airline there. And one night he had to work in his office, so my family of four, my father, mother, my older brother, and I, drove out to the airport. We dropped my father off on the north side of the airport, and my mother, brother, and I then drove around to the south side to attend a drive-in theater. Back in the 50s, there was a very popular drive-in theater there. Well, we were watching a movie. It was totally dark, so I presume it was 9 or 10 o'clock at night. A disturbance started brewing.
Let's sort of resize that.
In the
theater.
We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know whether it was a fire or a fight or somebody was injured. Something along those lines was occurring. And people were getting out of their cars and walking to the north, to our right. And I looked out the right window of our family car, a 53 Studebaker, and there was the most amazing craft I've ever seen in my life. It was the shape of a rugby ball. That is what a mathematician would call a prolate spheroid, like a football.
Yes.
And it was blood red, and it was extremely bright, and it was approximately the size of a full moon in the night sky. So it was a very prominent object. You couldn't miss it. It was illuminating not just the theater.
Now, if you remember Shelley's interview, she talked about exactly the same type of shaped UFO. Blood red, football shape, go to a very fine peak, as she said, at Oyster. Although her one was white, sounds very similar type craft.
But as I remember, Richard, it was illuminating the whole airport, bathing the airport in red light. And I had unusually good vision as a kid, and not only that, but I was very skilled at spotting and identifying aircraft. Having a father in the airline business, that was sort of part of the deal.
Right.
And I had never in my life seen anything like that. And it suddenly accelerated, almost instantaneously accelerated, streaked across the sky following in sort of a sigmoid or S-shaped curve across the night sky. It streaked to the northwest, went right across McDonnell Aircraft Corporation, and was gone from sight. All of what I've described here occurred in approximately 10 seconds, I would estimate.
That's
maybe
extraordinary.
half that.
Could you have an idea of how high the altitude, the altitude of that object was?
Have no idea. Have no idea how high it was, except to say that it was just above the horizon from my vantage point. I would say perhaps 10 degrees angle of elevation above the horizontal plane. But if I were to see something like that today, I would collect the information and do the triangulation, draw straight lines to find out where it was when I was looking at it from two or more points, and research it, investigate it. But I was 6.5 years of age at the time.
So why do we get that nowadays? With all the smartphones in those theatre, they would have been filming it like crazy. Yeah, all the good stuff happened in the 50s, huh? So yeah, it sounds really similar to what Shelley's sighting was. So this is why we need people to come forward with their cases, experiences. That was her drawing there. I suppose it's not going to give us a picture now, is it? Okay, so I was looking for a bigger image for the thumbnail. It's not going to give it to us, but you can see there. It's very similar to what he was saying, but she said it was actually fatter at one end. What the drawing is here. bit more rounded at the other end, and went to a fine peak the other end, and it was firing these little balls of orange at this larger ball of orange, which is kind of strange. When was that though? I can't remember what year it was now. So I don't keep all that information in my head, but sounds very similar timeline there. Same craft reappearing. So yeah, I'll just post that link. Where is it? I don't think there's any more there it talks about.
Well, as a father of two now young adults, I remember when they were 6, and one thing that I definitely learned is that by the time you're even that age, you've definitely got the ability to make observations. You may not be able to figure out technically what it is you're seeing, but you know what you're seeing at that age. So I do consider that important. And obviously it was life, had a deep imprint on you for the remainder of your life.
Yep.
How interesting.
I think it is arguable that the reason I am the director of the National UFO Reporting Center today is because of that 10-second long event back in 1954. I suspect that there are people still alive today who were in that theater. My hope is someday somebody will submit a report to supplement what I've written in my report.
Yes, indeed.
I would love. I always criticize people who are looking to speak with other people who've seen the same thing they did, but here I'm doing exactly the same thing that the people do whom I criticize, but
we can't help it.
It was quite exciting.
Can't help it. You know, actually, one of the things about your site that I love, I think many people appreciate, and by the way, please go to the, telling people to go to the National UFO Reporting Center. It's www.newfork.org. I'm doing this from memory, but I go there frequently enough. Or is it newfork.com?
Let me interject something. UFOcenter.com takes them to the same website, and it's a little bit easier to remember. Just UFOcenter.com. UFOcenter.com.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at that on one of your documents.
Appeared to me to be a qualified person, a qualified observer, and capable, reliable person.
So anyway, won't do the rest of it there. Just if you want to go and listen to it, I'll post a link to Dolan's interview. If I can type it. With National UFO Center. So we need Peter to come on, talk to us directly, huh? And we can ask him lots of things. One day, maybe, when we're treated with respect. But they'd rather go on third phase of the moon and make out of fools themselves, which we're going to be going over one person today. So, yeah. Thanks, Susan, for doing that. Right, so who we got with us? We only got 5 people still. Oh, well. Can't be too many UFO people out there really interested in the truth. So yeah, I had some idiot trying to tell me Billy Meier was correct with Trump and the virus on Twitter this week. And I said, don't be a complete moron. Go and do some fact checking and research on the guy. So here's a website dedicated to debunking Billy Meier. We're actually exposing him. I won't say debunking, because they actually do give cross-references to stuff where he plagiarized it here. So mostly German, because Swiss, the German, English, French. Obviously he's going to use some books lesser known to English people. Makes it easier to fool them. But this website here gives a few examples where he pulled off various bits that Billy wrote, and they found the original passages written by someone else. So I'll just read out that little one there, that little section, just to give you an example. Oh, that'll do.
Desiderator equals desirable and needed things is a small booklet of 12 pages supposedly containing unique passages of beautiful and poignant words, one that was purportedly originally written down by Meier in February 1997 and published as booklets, both German and English versions, in the same year. Also, this work, in German, was again published by Meier on PGS. A small collection of what is desirable from Billy's pen. An edition of lasting values that should be in every pocket and every nightstand. Suitably a small token for
screwing up in it, so we have to use the old method. Get rid of that follow along thing, it's not perfect. Okay, let's try that again.
Desiderator equals desirable and needed things is a small booklet of 12 pages supposedly containing unique passages of beautiful and poignant words, one that was purportedly originally written down by Meier in February 1997 and published as booklets, both German and English versions, in the same year. Also, this work, in German, was again published by Meier on PGS. 3-5 of his periodical Zeit, number 105 in December 1997. And in Zeit, number 106, March 1998. This book was advertised as a new free booklet along with the following information: a small collection of what is desirable from Billy's pen. An edition of lasting values that should be in every pocket and on every nightstand. Suitable as a small token for like-minded people, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, or just so, when a corresponding conversation arises. Is this desiderator really originally from Billy's pen and unique as claimed by Fig? Absolutely not. As has been the case with many of Meier's writings, this desiderator work also falls into the same pattern as the Meier's Matchdergedanken of the Thoughts, 1998-2012, whose bulk of information is demonstrably ripped off from British author James Allen's 1903 book As a Man Thinketh. This time the brunt of the text, including the original title, was stolen from the American Max Ehrmann, who published his poem Desiderator in 1927. See below for comparison between Max Ehrmann's original work in blue and Meier's.
There you go. So a lot of people out there obviously have read the earlier books and say, hang on, I've heard that before somewhere. It's the same with his pictures that he used, and he took it from children's books and magazines and TV shows and whatnot. The guy's complete fraud. Is a blueprint from Tyler Klockner, from what I can see here. Now, I'm surprised that Tyler didn't have to string up some models and fly them across his window too, as well. So yeah, you can probably go through all that if you really want to prove to yourself that Billy Meier is a fraud, taking things from other people's books without any references, of course. This is an interesting one here as well, about the alphabet. It's not extraterrestrial. Okay, just read, see if that'll read it properly.
As it turns out, this alleged pleasure alphabet is not extraterrestrial, of course, but is clearly ripped off from German occult writer Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. Agrippa created the angelic or celestial alphabet in the 16th century in the hopes of communicating with angels. It is incomprehensible that in 1975 Semyas would claim their alphabet had fallen into oblivion and been modified and made unrecognizable, because the script is exactly the same, in appearance and phonetically, as Agrippa's angelic alphabet. Below is a comparison between the alleged pleasure alphabet in use by Pleasure for 11.000 years ago and the angelic alphabet created in the 16th century.
Okay, so there's Billy Meier's effort at the top here, and here's from the older alphabet, and you can see he's just put some extra circles on the corners of things, right? Extra circle there. Put some circles on the end on that one, another circle on the end on that one. That one seems to be missing for some reason. So you can see it was going to be a cross of some sort. Another circle on the end. Doesn't take much to modify something, does it? Where's the scroll bar? Very similar indeed. Just put circles on it. Extra circles. Could have changed it up a wee bit. Made up his own one, couldn't he? Completely from scratch. Wouldn't take too much. And he's got some more of it here going on. Now that one's missing. So I basically just copied it and put extra circle on it. Duh. Hey, so yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else here, but it just goes on and on and on, talking about his prophecies. I think it's got a few comments there as well at the bottom. Spiritual teachings. I suppose there'll be a few crackpots posting here. You normally get that Michael, what's his name? Horn guy is totally a cult member promoting Billy Meier rubbish. Claims that he's got some scientists and experts that can prove that his models are correct. Some of them believed some of the stuff, like the material that he gave said it was from alien melted craft or something, which is basically what people said was slag. Probably melted down meteorite iron. So yeah, it's easy to fool people. I've actually got a playlist that I started with for him. I suppose this one will end up in it. I think it only got one video in it so far. Billy Meier. It's here somewhere. Oh yeah, I forgot about the scroll thing. Gotta click on that first. Billy Meier, where are you? The Truth. Super Sky. Maybe it's got two videos in it. It's very hard to see it. I wish the font was a wee bit bigger. Where are you? It's probably staring at me. Billy Meier, Billy Meier. They're probably all shouting at the screen. There it is, there it is. You're gonna scroll past it. Indeed. I should have gone past it somewhere. Doesn't sort it in alphabetical order either. Sorts it in the one order that you create it in. David, Skinny Bob. Should be here. Billy Meier, there we go. One, yes. So I go over images that he puts up. And I'll probably add this one to it. Hopefully that worked. Okay, so on with the next next article. But you probably can search up a lot more on Billy Meier Prophecies debunked or exposed or whatever you want to type in. See what comes up. Or fraud. So he's made it to Gaia, I'm going to call it. Story and Prophecies from Outer DVD. Buy, make lots of money. He's a millionaire. 1964 to present. MUFON. And they got a bit suckered in too. They talk about the experts that believe the fragment is from a UFO. Total nonsense, of course. There's no way they can tell that. You could say it's from outer space. What else we got? Anything else coming up? Billy Meier Rational Wikipedia. That's probably going to be funny. Although I don't like this guy that writes this website. He is funny sometimes. So there you go. Scruffy old dirty beard. A Swiss guy who has claimed since 1975 to be in contact with humanoid aliens from the Pleiades. So there you go. So what does he say about him? Not much really. Just on the links, don't say anything there. But we're looking for the prophecies. So I probably have to say debunked maybe. Did not predict the Paris terrorist attacks. Why didn't he? Because it wasn't in a scientific magazine from other people. Michael Horn, there he is. Conspiracy theorist, for lack of a better term. Let's see. Can we read it out? Oh, yeah. Let's see what it says. It might be funny.
As is the case with many significant events in history, there are those who will profess that the event was foreseen or prophesied. The terrorist attacks in Paris this last Friday are no exception. Michael Horn is a conspiracy theorist, for lack of a better term, with a parochial interest in promoting the prophecies of a man named Billy Meier. Meier is the source of many controversial photographs of alleged UFOs, which he presents in support of his claim that he is in contact with extraterrestrial beings. Meier's claims have never held up to the most superficial scrutiny. After much research into his modus operandi by skeptics, Meier's efforts are considered a rather unsophisticated hoax. Does any of this discourage Michael Horn? Hardly. Horn is Meier's #1 cheerleader. Horn's latest crankery, courtesy of his blog, suggests that Billy Meier, in 1958, predicted the Paris terrorist attacks. Meier's prophecy number 83 reads, "And it will be that fanatical Islamists carry out bloody revenge on the distant descendants of the Christians for their earlier crusades when they accomplish their deadly and destructive acts through irrepressible terror all over the world." Just like many of the other prophecies of Meier's, this one is so general, so unspecific that it could be applied to any number of Islamist terrorist attacks since 1958. Notice how there is never a specific date or location associated with prophecies such as this. No mention of ISIS or ISIL, and no mention of the degree of carnage. What about the Charlie Hebdo attacks back in January of this year? Is the same prophecy not applicable to that event? And to say that this prophecy was a warning of some kind is ridiculous. How can you warn others of something with no specific details?
No
Something
date.
bad is going to happen sometime in the future is not a prediction. It is nothing at all. Horn's application of this prophecy to the terrible events of a few days ago is simply opportunism. Myers was about as impressive with prophecy as Sylvia Brown was with her psychic abilities.
Okay. What else we got? Some comments. And we have at length exposed Billy Meier and Michael Horn's claims regarding the evidence, space and time travel photos, and the nearly 200 so-called scientifically accurate prophecies predictions for space and time travel. Photographs see below. Someone's posted the YouTube link. For evidence of fabricated prophecies, predictions, see Billy Meier research, which we just found a bit earlier. Now regarding the Paris attacks by radical Islam, I have shown that on a UFO prophet blog. There is no evidence of Meier's 1958 publication, and Meier only referably published for the first time in 2005. The prophecy is extremely vague, just as you mentioned. The Myers prophecy was forecasted to occur in a Pacific timeline when 888-day World War III was happening. 888-day, I never heard of that before. Causing the civilization to collapse, which hasn't happened. 4 similar prophecies of Islamic radicals attacking France has been published for decades, if not centuries ago, by Catholic prophets. Yeah, Nostradamus as being one of them. That's very true. I think you could even predict something. There's going to be another terrorist attack in America somewhere, you know. Probably happen in the future. Or Australia, France, Europe. So yeah, it's got some comments there if you want to go and read it. Debunk. Billy again. I don't know if there was anything else there. What else did he prophesize? Did he prophesize the virus? Billy Meier prophecies debunked Corona. I bet there'll be something about that out there. Oh look, Billy Meier hashtag. Can't see the word Corona in it. Maybe I have to put coronavirus. Narrow it down a bit more. I won't get monetized this episode because apparently if you mention that word, Nazis or anything like that, you get punished. Not that I got money, because Google refuses to give it to me. They just stick me in a 10-year review plan. Okay, so Bombshell, 20 May. Documentary filmmaker supposedly discovered evidence that man behind one of the most fabulous UFO has been in contact. Oh well, looks like we might move on. Looks like it's Express UK. Spit. Has been in contact with aliens and NASA knows. What a load of rubbish. Now you can see that's a model on a little miniature tree. Doesn't look right, does it? The lighting of it doesn't look right. Looks like the sun's over here that particular day, and yet it's lit up over on this side. So that's my straight away observing that just on that picture alone. Looks like the sun's in a long location. But anyway, moving on. We got lots to cover still. So Yeah, we got this one here about Korean War GIs. I come across it and I said to Robert maybe we should look more into the story. But it'd be a little interesting read out here. Go away. So I'll just have a read of it here before we get on to third phase, which is the next. Which you probably all come to listen. I should have clicked on the thing, shouldn't I? Damn it. If it'll work.
In May 1951, 1 year into the Korean War, PFC Francis P. Wall and his regiment found themselves stationed near Karwon, about 60 miles north of Seoul. As they were preparing to bombard a nearby village with artillery, all of a sudden, the soldiers saw a strange sight up in the hills, like a jack-o'-lantern come wafting down across the mountain. What happened after the pulsing, attacking light, the lingering debilitating symptoms would mystify many for decades to come. As the JIS watched, the craft made its way down into the village, where the artillery airbursts were starting to explode. We further noticed that this object would get right into the center of an airburst of artillery and yet remain unharmed, Wall later told John P. Timmerman of the Center for UFO Studies in a 1987 interview. Suddenly, the object turned, Wall said. And whereas at first, it had glowed orange, now it was a pulsating blue-green brilliant light. He asked his company commander for permission to fire at the object with armor-piercing bullets from an MI rifle. As the bullets hit the body of the craft, he recalled, they made a metallic ding. The object started behaving still more erratically, shunting from side to side as its lights flashed on and off. Wall's recollections of what happened next are stranger still. We were attacked, he said, swept by some form of array that was emitted in pulses, in waves that you could visually see only when it was aiming directly at you. That is to say, like a searchlight sweeps around and the segments of light. You would see it coming at
War
you.
of the Worlds.
He remembered a burning, tingling sensation sweeping over his body, as if he were being penetrated. The men rushed into underground bunkers and peeped through the windows, watching as the craft hovered above them and then shot off, at a 45-degree angle. It's that quick, he said. It was there and was gone. 3 days after the incident, the entire company of men was evacuated by ambulance, with special roads cut to haul out those too weak to walk. When they finally received medical treatment, they were found to have dysentery and an extremely high white blood cell count. To me, says Richard F. Haynes, a UFO researcher and former NASA scientist, they had symptoms that sounded like the effects of radiation.
That's what I was going to say. Of course, that's also interesting because there was a CIA release. I did a video on it. Where whether it was Russian propaganda or not, claiming that they got attacked by a UFO and it turned the men into pillars of salt, pretty much. Yeah, they fired on it and all that sort of stuff, so they defended themselves, and they vanished, and it made a pulse of light expand outwards, and anyone within the range also got turned into this rock salt, like pillars of salt, like the ancient Greek fable, right? So I don't know if it's real or not, but I guess we could probably find it if you're not listened to it before or new to the channel. I think it's CIA releases, and I did do quite a lot, over the years. UFO attacks troops. There we go. So if you've not listened to that story as well, go and check it out. And of course, this one here is quite good too. The hybrid alien called Bob. CIA reports on UFO attack. And of course, this was from their release of their documents they did a couple of years ago, was it? So it's all official. And this one here is also was on all the news channels at the time. The story is bizarre. So the hybrid claimed to be a hybrid alien. And he hoarded so much guns and ammo, it was ridiculous. See if you can make out if it was a murder covered up or what. It made no sense, that story whatsoever. So yeah, on with the readout. Was an experiment by a new Soviet weapon. So it's very similar to that CIA report. Of course, they were using a lot of chemicals back then, right? We'll just do it down to there then.
In the wake of the Korean War, which ended in July 1953, dozens of men have reported seeing similar unidentified flying objects over the course of the 37-month conflict. The craft often resembled flying saucers. According to unofficial reports, as many as 42 were corroborated by additional witness reports, an average of more than one a month in just over 3 years.
That's interesting, isn't it? I've got to read out some more.
At first, according to Korean War historian Paul M. Edwards, many researchers believed that the sightings were Soviet experiments, based on German technology and foreign research in anti-gravity. These were supposedly so large they could carry 50 tons of weight and were powered by electromagnetic propulsion, he writes in unusual footnotes to the Korean War. What was being sighted, it was suggested, were discs the Russians were testing over the Korean skies. But in the years since the fall of the Soviet Union, a number of Soviet reports of sighting UFOs over Korea have trickled in, discrediting these theories.
So, yeah, if they did have discs, I think we'd see more reports nowadays, right, with cameras everywhere. So where have they all gone to? Maybe they came and left. So could the UFOs be like exploration droids? You know, the alien greys, they often say biological robots. What's it? Click selecting all that there. Oh, that'll do. Alright. Oh, it's selecting the whole block. Actually, we should be able to click on play and it should carry on, shouldn't it?
Why were there so many UFO sightings throughout the Korean War? Were they the product of thousands of exhausted men under incredible stress or a sign of something more mysterious? From 1952 until 1986, the United States Air Force ran Project Blue Book, a systematic study into unidentified flying objects and their potential threat to national security. When it was shuttered, in December 1969, the Air Force announced they had found nothing of note and terminated all activity under the auspices of the study. Read more, interactive map, UFO sightings taken seriously by the U.S. government. But many believe that the project ended abortively, and that there was more work to be done, leading to similar interviews with witnesses and other investigations being done by dozens of volunteers for decades after the project ended. Haynes is one of them. He describes himself as a scientist with an open mind, rather than someone with something to prove. I don't believe in them. I don't not believe in them, he says. I'm trying to let the data convince me one way or the other, which is the scientific approach. But, he says, it's striking how many accounts there are of similar sightings in the Korean War and other conflicts. Other explanations? An aerial view of the Korean DMZ in the Kawar-1 district, where Francis P. Wall saw the UFO. Jan Arthur Bertrand Getty Images. In the early years of the Cold War, it was often theorized that these crafts might be Soviet or Chinese vessels, with technology unknown to American troops. Haynes believes this theory has been conclusively disproved. If they were, he says, they would have been building those crafts for use in later wars like the Vietnam War, for instance. The Soviet UFO sightings Edwards describes make it similarly unlikely, as do the impossibly high-tech specifications of some of the sightings. In Wall's case, for instance, he described a kind of force field taking effect a while after he began shooting, where his bullets simply ricocheted away from the craft. Haynes, for his part, believes the rash of sightings across the Korean War might suggest that something in the universe is especially interested in how human beings behave in a throng of military action. We tend to be very creative to fight a war, Haynes says, listing off the various sciences and technologies that might come into play in military action. If you were interested in how another country or another race of people fought their wars, you'd want to collect information on that, wouldn't you? He trails off. That's one possible explanation. There may be others. Read, meet J. Allen Hynek, the astronomer who first classified UFO close encounters. But the vast majority of UFO sightings, as much as 80%, are later found to be totally ordinary phenomena, like clouds or human crafts, rather than anything otherworldly. In Wall's case, precisely what he saw that day has never been conclusively proven or disproven. Without the testimony of other men in Wall's regiment, it's hard to ascertain whether they too had the same strange experience, even if it can be corroborated that many did get very ill.
It's very hard to
Why
get them
such
forward.
long-lasting after effects? In the years following the war, Wall lost contact with many of the men in his regiment. After the experience, he remembered his company agreeing that they would not file a report, because they'd lock every one of us up, and think we were crazy, he told Timmerman. What made him choose to make a testimony, however, was the lasting after effects of his illness, including permanent weight loss from 180 pounds to 138, stomach problems and periods of disorientation and memory loss after returning to the United States. He retired in 1969, at the age of just 42, his daughter Rennie Denny says, and spent 30 years out of work, struggling with the after effects of the war. Back then they didn't know the name of it, but I guess you could say it was a form of PTSD, she says. Over the years, he would tell and retell the tale of his strange UFO sighting. The story was always the same, says Denny. It never changed through the years. But there was other fallout. He was especially affected by the sounds of airplanes and once knocked his mother and sister to the ground after mistaking them for enemy troops. I guess he would have flashbacks, she says. Wall's recollections of the UFO sighting were consistent and acute. But whether what he remembered actually happened is harder to prove. Fighting conditions were almost intolerably stressful, and it's entirely possible that he may have experienced some kind of hallucination, brought on by the terror of the situation, where he regularly feared for his life. It might also have been a moment of feverish delirium. Even the raised white blood cell count that surprised Army doctors, and Haynes, is consistent with many of the bacterial infections which might also cause severe dysentery as or hallucinations. In a later interview with Haynes, Wall described how he had discussed what he saw with some 25 other men, but none ever came forward or could later be traced. Read more. This scoutmaster had a run-in with the UFO. The kids saw it too. In 2002, British researchers demonstrated a link between UFO sightings and Cold War hysteria and pointed out how the number of sightings had nosedived as radar improved. That cannot be a coincidence, David Clark told The Guardian. Those early confirmations were just a product of a primitive radar system. The flurry of UFO sightings Haynes describes may have been the dual effect of these two threats, a potentially world-destroying war on the horizon, and the incredible pressure of being in the military. Wall had experiences in those years in Korea.
Of course, there's making assumptions here. Might be that the UFOs went away when the radar was invented, or less of them around.
Wall had experiences in those years in Korea that would scar him until his death in 1999. One night, Denny says, he managed to make his way through a pitch-dark minefield, praying for his life as he went. Others who made the same journey were not so fortunate. When he went in to the war, she says, he was happy-go-lucky, just a totally different person to when he came out. Whether the UFO sightings that Wall and so many other men reported were a product of this personality-altering trauma, or the effects of something require a much greater investigation, remains a mystery. Don't miss the return of Project Blue Book.
Yeah, so interesting story. So hopefully some more information can come on that, but that sums it up pretty good there. So yeah, a lot of assumptions made there. UFOs might go away when the war stops, of course, or different period of time they might get away. Say, well, stuff this, let's get out of here. But that's talking about radar, the introduction of radar, the sightings reduced. Maybe radar interferes with the UFOs even, right? So, who knows? I'll post the link there from the History Channel if you want to reread it. See if we can find out more information on it. Hopefully Robert can. I'm surprised that more GIs don't come out and back up their fellow guys. Even if they hide their faces or something, you know. But why should people be embarrassed nowadays? They'll probably end up being heroes, you know, coming forward. GI sickness and UFOs. So I know Robert did one on UFOs making humans sick, but this one I don't think he included in the list. Not too sure if he missed it or not, but yeah, it's a good one. I don't know if he's out there watching or he's in bed sleeping off the corona. But we'll see, I guess. I don't think anyone's commented on the side for a long time, apart from me and Susan. So Susan, if you want to tell your own, if you're an ex-vet out there and you want to come on and talk on a proper channel about your sighting, get in touch with us. We've tried to get people to come on before. Even if they tell their story over voice and draw some pictures of what they saw, that would be really great, you know. So this brings us to these thing. We got some stamps for these guys. There's one of them. Nonsense. Fake. Fraud. And they cover the whole shebang. These guys. Debunked is what we're going to do on these guys. Busted. Where's that one not coming up? Alright. Yeah, I resized that one down a wee bit. It was a wee bit too big. So I resized that one. And of course this one here is the one that suits Cousin Bros. As you know, BS. And false, of course. What else we got? And fake too. So we've got lots of labels for these guys. But anyway, let's have a listen and work through it together. Yeah, we're probably going to have some trouble getting it going. Let's see how we go. Now, we've got to put the VE's shifter on. Plus it makes them sound a wee bit more dorky. Oh, Blake Cousins.
Welcome back. Blake Cousins here, Third Phase of Moon. We're all at home. We're dealing with things, but the news doesn't stop. In regards to UFOs, what's going on beneath our waters, under lakes, under oceans? Are there secret bases that hide UFOs with ancient military technology that might be reutilized in present day? We've got the expert behind it all. He's got over 26 books in regards to alien abductions, and he's the expert on underwater UFO activity. Preston Dennett's with us. Hey Preston, welcome to Third Phase of Moon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, well, you know what? Let's just get to it.
Foul. You shouldn't be on Third Phase of the Moon, you dorkhead. Giving them meant to be credible UFO historian, and he's on third phase of the moon. Total BS, man. So he wrote a really good book. He did a good research project on school sightings not long ago, and he was on Martin Willis' show. And here he is on third phase of the moon. Totally ruins his credibility. But anyway, we'll just go over this and have a laugh.
A new book out right now, and we want to get to that in just a bit, but there's some videos I wanted to ask you on what you think some of these videos represent. Are there like major extraterrestrial activity over certain bodies of water, or maybe just the Pacific Ocean? Right now, let's just look at this one.
What is that out there? It's just floating. It's like in the sky. Yeah, it's like a saucer shape. It's not moving at all.
And this is how you prove if someone's a UFO expert or not.
Coming in from Ventura County, what looks to be like a massive cigar-shaped craft. Is this unusual in this region?
Well, yes and no. I mean, this is actually an area where there's a huge amount of activity of UFOs over the water. USOs, these are objects coming in and out of the water. This is great footage. It's really interesting to hear the witnesses themselves talking about what they're seeing as they're filming it. This is clearly a large object. I don't think it's a blimp. It's obviously not a plane or anything like this. There's no running lights. There's nothing to indicate that this is a conventional aircraft at all. It's got some of the features we see of genuine UFOs. It's kind of like stock still there in the sky. Yeah, it's pretty good footage, and I'm impressed because this is an area where there's a huge amount of activity.
You know, it's interesting to me when you're looking at this
I
video.
think we've covered this one before, guys. Anyone on the side chat know what it is without me telling you? A hint. The two words is FM. If you want to put it together, tell me in the side chat what do you think it is. So it's a good sighting. It's not a blimp. It's not a plane. It's not a balloon. So what else is it? So let's do a snapshot of that. This disproves these guys are UFO historians. All they know is to go through other people's case reports and stick it together in a book. They're not researchers. Researchers go out in the field, bring new evidence to the old cases or new cases. He's definitely not a researcher. He's just like Dolan. He just goes out there, collects information, puts it together in a sequence of book. And he's definitely not a video analysis or any credible UFO expert whatsoever. So yeah, let's just take a little clip of that. It's not, it's not the original source or anything, but we're probably about to even see what it is through the editor, even at that low quality. Let's see. We'll just open it up in the regular viewer. Okay. So it looks like it's got a high bit there. It looks like it's got an angled bit here, which looks very similar to what? So open up that. Of course, that quality is not the best. But yeah, it annoys me, these so-called booksellers using these big channels to promote themselves. Obviously the sales are not coming in. That's because UFO information should be free, as far as I'm concerned. Make it all free and say crowdfund the next book or something, This is my first book. If you liked it, donate here. Crowdfund the next one. Something's going to happen. People are going to get behind you. What do we not do? Zoom up first. I don't think we're going to be able to do too much with that poor hazy quality here. But you could probably enhance it. a wee bit. Maybe see something pop out. I know, I think I've done this one before. It looks very familiar. Is it actually working? I think we have to select all, do we? I know, it looks like it might be working. And you can start to see the shape a bit more now. So, and we're seeing the artifacts caused by compression of the video or photograph. But there we can see the shape of it. Alright. And probably draw a line around it. What you can do is add a layer. There, it looks like it's a flat bit here. It's like I said, it looked like an angle bit here. Bit going this way. Looks like it's got a bit going more curvy there though. That way. Now what's that starting to look like to you guys? Looks like there's something also at the front here. You can see something there. Kind of looks like a ship, doesn't it? So, could be like a fishing trawler or cargo ship. Ship side view. Let's have a look. So, if it's a cargo one, we'd expect to see a lot of square containers on it. Unless it's empty. If it's a trawler, we'd expect to see a high front end. So what is it? That's a good question, but it looks like a ship. So it looks like this one here, like an empty trawler, if anything. It's got a funny bell bit at the front. So we'll just keep looking. There's another one. It's got the front bit at the top here. That's the thing there. Could that be a ship going this way? Could well be. Looks very similar to this one here. So if we flip that around, we won't see that little mask there probably. That'd be a close fit to what we're looking at. It's like when they have Nick Pope on TV shows and he says, oh yeah, that one wasn't explained, and he's totally wrong. So yeah, apparently he did make another mistake this week, and UFO Interest has talked about it, so we'll go over that as well. So we need to open up the ship and just do a side by side there, and even this is on low quality rubbish, right? We can even still have enough clues. Looks like it's gone too big. Select all, copy. Actually, you want to flip it first. Flip it that way. Oh. I'll just select that. See, it's got that high triangle bit on this one. Copy, paste. Looks really similar. It's got that high end bit here. The front of the ship, maybe it's got some waves going over the front of it, so we're not seeing the front of the ship as much. It could be like waves coming up. But yeah, you can see what I mean. Scale it down. So why does it look like it's in the sky? Okay, we'll go over that again. So it looks like a cargo ship of some sort that's got no cargo. Don't you just like me doing those comparisons for the newcomers? So there's a thing called Fatima Morgana. No one posted it on the side. I thought someone like Susan might have added it in there. But it meets that range where the ship is not visible on the horizon. But because of the curvature of the Earth and layers of hot and cold atmospherics with ice crystals, it creates a sort of a lens that bends the light upwards, and it's always in this particular region from there down to here, but it won't go up super high. And when people film this, they don't sit there filming it forever. There's another red flag straight away. So yeah, it's called Fata Morgana. Any UFO expert out there should know this by now. And you can say ship. And straight away we start to get some images popping up. What's that saying? Google. It's because I'm not logged in now, I suppose. Is it? Yeah, because I'm not logged in now, it's popping up the thing. I might have to log back in. But yeah, you can see the range of gaps in between. Can be misleading, but it can be quite high up in the air. Now that one there especially, look at that one. There's one of these cargo ships that's a bit closer. So if it was further out, you can see here the original ship is way in the distance here. You can just see it on that particular image. See that in the distance? You can just see the top of the ship over the horizon there. And that's pretty cool. Crazy stuff that happens in the real world. And of course you get islands as well. But we tried to look for some ship images. There's no reason why it can't be sort of refracted a couple of times, so it makes it go slightly higher than normal. So yeah, there wasn't too much there to be had, but there are some pictures of islands. So here's one of the island. Looks like it's slightly hovering above the sea there. Try some other keywords. Island. So yeah, he went on third phase of the moon and got made example of as being pointless researcher now. So here's a good one of an island. Floating above a cloud. Here's another one. Looks like a little UFO. Top of an island. Or lighthouse even. Yes, a mirage. Fata Morgana. I suppose that's Spanish, is it? Or some Italian or something. These are the mirages that you're used to at the beach, you know, where you get a hot day. Sort of has shimmering. But the sea ones are particularly interesting. Let's try it without a keyword, see what else we get. Not much more actually. Sailboat's quite an interesting one. But yeah, you compare it to their video. That's right, it's really open, isn't it? It looks a wee bit higher. But I suppose it's the distance thing, right? And if they pan back and saw the actual footage, let's see, do they pan back? Yeah. No.
Huge amount of activity.
Okay, so here's the original image. You can see it doesn't look that much higher when you look at that angle there. It's only because they zoomed in sort of makes it look like it's higher than it really is. But if you compare it to those other images, it fits in that particular angle. It's always within a certain angle. Is it 30 degrees or something? It's always in that same region. That ship one was the better one, where it's the highest. But yeah, once I saw that, I thought, hang on, it's an optical illusion. So yeah, just carry on what they're saying here and just see what else comes up.
Of UFOs over the water, USOs, these are objects coming in and out of the water. This is great footage. It's really interesting to hear the witnesses themselves talking about what they're seeing as they're filming it. This is clearly a large object. I don't think it's a blimp. It's obviously not a plane or anything like this. There's no running lights. There's nothing to indicate that this is a conventional aircraft.
But he's laughing there.
It's got some of the features we see
we got you.
Genuine UFOs. It's kind of like stock still there in the sky. Yeah, it's pretty good footage, and I'm impressed because this is...
See, it's not doing anything unusual a UFO would do. It's not zooming left or zooming right, going higher or lower. It's just sitting there. But if it's far away above, beyond the horizon here, the ship moves very slowly, about 12 knots per hour. It's not going to move very fast from that distance.
An area where there's a huge amount of activity.
You know, it's interesting to me when you're looking at this video, it's a real windy day. And how often do you see a possible airship or a blimp out there over the ocean in these kind of conditions? I don't think it's a blimp. What's your thoughts on that theory?
No, it doesn't look like a blimp from a distance even, or close up. It's not an area where the blimp would usually fly. It looks quite large. Very hard to say what it is. There's a number of cases where this area has, not only had a lot of sightings, but a number of photographs have been taken. And to see actual moving footage is great, because I do have some still photographs of very unusual activity in this area. And it's the same sort of thing, some without photographs. And to have a photograph that describes what other people are seeing who weren't able to take photographs is corroboration for me, at least, as an investigator. So I know that this is an area where there is a huge amount of activity. I know that there are people photographing this, and this looks like a really good example of somebody capturing unusual activity.
You know, it's interesting too, because some people might say that this is CGI, sir, or some kind of optical trick or trick of
Only
the
if they're
camera.
not
But
experts.
what's interesting is that Dakota, who submitted this video
CGI.
to us, and we're happy to share it with you, his girlfriend captured the same thing on her iPhone camera as well, and they made the rounds, and this video was picked up by experts in television shows just to analyze the
Hello,
video.
872.
We confirm that this video is legit, and again, no FAA lights of any sort. This is something very unusual, and again, kind of proof that we're...
That guy is good at bullshit, isn't he? So what else we got? You don't listen to them guys so much. Oh, here we go. We got the floating island coming up, guys. Come on, get it floating.
The Lake Erie footage, my first thought was, gosh, could this be a mirage? Because you see what looks like an inversion layer overhead. And you're looking
Just
at
like
it
the
and
last
like,
one, mate.
well, it's darker than what's below. So that's unusual. And the shape,
No, it's not.
yeah, it's curious footage to say the least. And this is another area where I know there's a lot of undersea UFO activity.
Really? So you've heard of activity at Lake Erie itself?
Look at that dork. He's trying not to
Oh
burst
yeah,
out laughing.
yeah. The whole Great Lakes area has a lot of activity around it. But this particular
I think we
area,
debunked that one too, didn't we? Many, many months ago. We actually found the actual view of the island.
yeah,
out
for sure
on the
has
lake.
reports of UFOs coming in and out of the water. And that makes me wonder, because I think there's a lot of activity going on.
Again, it looks like it's a load of trees on it. Yeah, it's shaped just like a UFO, right? No.
Yeah, the whole Great Lakes area has a lot of activity around it. But this particular...
Let's see if we can enhance it again. I tell you what, this channel is just so full of bullshit and damaging the ufology, and they've ruined this guy's reputation now. Because he's said on air that it's not Mirage, and probably every other expert out there will say otherwise. I think even Finn had debunked this one. Poor guy, you're ruined now. It's too dark to be a UFO. Too dark to be a mirage. Not of a solid object being reflected upwards, it's not. Resize. God, it even looks like an island now, doesn't it? Yeah, let's sharpen it. Well, as usual, it's always, mirages are always blurry. There's another sign there. Photo. It just annoys me, these guys. I don't know if it annoys you, but it annoys the hell out of me, this nonsense. So that's the same filter we used last time. Yeah, it looks like a knobbly UFO. Mothership. What utter crap. Okay, so let's turn that back on. So we got the artifact happening. The white side round of it. Definitely looks more like an island there, doesn't it? We tried to work out which one it was, I think, and did we actually find out which one it was? But it had a few islands that could have been where they're filming it from. Kind of looks like trees, doesn't it? A little mountain and some trees. It's got some different tone there. Yeah, so typical mirage. Because that's the thing. Anything that's out of focus, far away, you can claim it to be a UFO. Do we carry on looking at that one, or do we look on the next case?
Particular area, for sure, has reports of UFOs coming in and out of the water.
How are we doing for time?
And that makes me wonder, because I think there's a lot of activity going on
2 hours coming up.
the oceans that is not getting a lot of attention paid to it. I know that there are cases of multiple objects. It's not just one or two. In some cases, there's quite a number of these objects. There's a lot of indications that there could possibly be undersea bases in a number of areas across our planet. I know in the Ventura case for sure, there's enough cases. I think I could build a powerful case. And there's a lot of reports in the Great Lakes area as well, for sure.
Well,
he knows all the reports.
When I'm looking at the video, some people might just say it's just some stationary cloud just kind of hovering over the lake there. But again, this thing remains consistent throughout. It doesn't evaporate, and it's very bizarre the way it just is kind of hovering there and keeping consistent in shape. Could it be shielding some kind of possible craft within?
He needs a bullshit thing tattooed on his head.
Hidden within the cloud itself, if this is a cloud.
It's a
And
technique
goof on
they
his
do
mates
use.
with
I
him.
have seen that in a number of cases. It's very hard to say.
What
This
an
is a
idiot.
very large cloud, in quotes. I don't know.
I don't think I can listen to
it's
these
certainly
clowns anymore.
possible.
Well, let's get to this next video, and this was incredible that came into us.
Oh, we got another one.
We got the permission
Oh, God.
granted from the news helicopter camera crew as they filmed this major event over New Mexico. And what it looks to me is that there's like a war going on. Who is behind this? What's going on? Is this more evidence of what you claim is maybe battle?
Maybe because it's a
between,
military
the
exercise.
USOs and just tell me what's going on, Preston. This video is very bizarre.
Yeah,
looks like
because
this-
I mean, we have this triangle
like
of light in the sky.
a,
It's glowing. It's very interesting because I don't think this is a rocket launch. I've seen rocket launches.
No, but it looks like
there's more than one
could
light in the
be
sky. It appears to be stationary.
ammo
It's very
rounds
bright.
with illumination.
Yeah, it's good footage. It's what we would call an anomalous light. It's not a daylight disk or anything like this, so it's hard to make sense of.
It's making a fool of you, mate.
It's definitely something unusual and unnatural, I think.
Well, the video rolls for a while. We're going to let it play a little bit, but what's amazing is that
Yeah,
the
let's
camera
have
crew
a
had the best camera equipment you could imagine,
Yeah,
with state-of-the-art stabilization. So the shots that we're looking at are incredible. I'm just
Why
kind
didn't
of
he have
wondering,
a
what it is.
100, 200
this
times
massive bright object.
telephoto
Some people are
on
saying
it?
it possibly could be the sun hidden behind the clouds peeking through, but again, I'm not seeing that at all. And all the activity
Could it be a
between
F-14?
these trails of light, and then again, it looks at one point in the video is like there's some kind of volcanic activity, like there's an eruption of cloud coming from the ground into the atmosphere.
Oh, explosion and fire.
Yeah, it's very interesting footage. Very bizarre.
Oh,
It deserves a long and in-depth analysis, I think, because I've never seen anything quite like it. I have seen a lot of footage, and this is definitely very interesting to say the least, because I can't quite figure out what we're seeing. It's definitely not the sun. The shape is too strange. It's staying there in place. It's not clouds.
It's obviously sun illuminated. That's why it's a
Yeah,
blob.
it's good footage. I am very intrigued by the
Could even be CGI,
anomalous
that one.
lights that are around the main kind of object there.
So where's the
And
video
it's-
playing? Come on.
Standpoint.
Some people
The weird events in Topanga. There's a
I'm
lot
not
of
playing
weird
the
stuff
video,
going on that
lying
we're not
sod.
paying attention to.
He didn't
But
play
I
the
have to
video,
tell
the
you,
lying
in my own
crapper.
research,
Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Oh, I was meant to click on the other link. Go away. Third phase. Let's go through the other stupid videos. Okay. Go away. Alright, so where do we start? Where's the stupid? I suppose we could work our way backwards. Okay, let's start on this one.
To it right now. Google Earth. Some people are speculating what we're looking at
no, not
is
Google
some
Earth.
kind of hidden base alongside
A
a
rock.
submarine frozen within the glacier itself.
There we go, we got a submarine, guys. It looks like the same colour rock as what we've got on the surface here straight away, I noticed. Looks really similar, smooth type rock going downwards. And this side's very different. Obviously, it's a fracture where a volcano's been. Yeah, he's got the same illumination here. A submarine, so do we grab that now? You know how I like these Google Earth nonsense ones. Come on. Submarine. Well, it's possible that they're seeing a submarine and got stuck, but I'm pretty sure it would have been salvaged or something. it's hard not to laugh, really. People watch this for serious UFO stuff. So first of all, we want to rotate it. Rotate 90 degrees. Is that the right way? Who knows? Let's scale it up. I wonder if they've got a Google Earth location. We'll have to have a look. Okay, so where's this submarine? Doesn't look particularly exciting there, does it? I think it's this whole object here. And there we go. And it looks like it's got a fracture there. And another fracture up here. Can we see that it's a submarine? That means the tower would have to be at the end of it. I think we need to get a better quality image snapshot. Instead of taking it from their video. Okay, so what's various submarines look like? Plus it would have to be the right one for the year number. Okay. So it's not quite at the end here. There's one that's at the end. Taiwan. So there are some that matches where the tower could be, which is quite interesting. That's the front of the ship, not the rear of the ship. So I just need to close down those ones. Doesn't look like the front of the ship there though, does it? Doesn't look like the rear of the submarine. Doesn't look like much going. If it's going to be a submarine, to me it looks like a collection of broken rocks. Not really uniform shape at all. So let's see if we can get a better image. So that's in the middle. Which direction are they going? Let's see, it's definitely moving that direction. That's that one there, isn't it? Looks like that same one there. That one's moving forward. Doesn't quite match any of these ones. It looks like it could be that one up there. See the tail fin sticking up. Still looks like that one there too as well. Yep, front of the thing. So let's go back, see if we've got some coordinates here. Oh. Clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. Can't see any GPS, right? So what else we got? Anyone posted it? Yeah, lack of information again. Oh, have we dropped off or something? No, we're still running. Where do all the people disappear to? What's that? if you suddenly get the hourglass popping up, let me know. That means ISP's dropped or the streaming software crashed for some reason. Normally the virus scanner, but or me installing software crashes it sometimes, which I shouldn't do on a live stream. So yeah, just have a quick look through this one.
Welcome back. Some people are speculating what we're looking at is some kind of hidden base alongside a submarine frozen within the glacier itself. We're looking at the images and I want to get your opinion. What do you think is being captured here? We're going to get a little closer in detail as we're looking at these anomalies in Google Earth, and right now it doesn't look like this is some kind of natural formation. You could see geometric shapes within whatever these images contain, such as a gun turret. Take a look at this.
Oh shit.
I used the history finder to go back in time to see if these objects exist, and when you look years before and years after, it's covered by a blanket of ice.
Wrong. That was a cloud cover.
Strange indeed to see that it exists at a certain time on Google Maps, but not
cloud
before
cover.
Or not after, but in between. Could the possible climate as it's melting reveal more mysteries that we're looking at right now?
Yeah, reveal more rocks for you to talk about.
And what's up with the gun turret? Is this possibly some kind of old military base that has been hidden for almost a century now?
Gun turret?
Some people are speculating that this goes way back to World War I, but the evidence is there, and I want to get your opinions.
Who are the people speculating on this? It's got to be other fraud channels.
What do you think this is? Is this some kind of natural formation, or is this some kind of pre-existing structure embedded into the ice, such as a submarine and a military base where it docked? It's hard to tell, but we're going to be sharing the links below so you can have your own fun, take a look at it yourself, and do the research. And if you see any...
Okay, so where's the links, mate? Where's the damn information? It's not there, is it? We're going to share the links. This, because when I look at stuff, we can find out other clues where it can't be a submarine thing, because you can see it, the crack is probably enclosed in. There's no way it would be like an open gap between the ice with a submarine base. It would be like buried into a tunnel, into a lava tube of some sort, out of view. You won't be able to see it on satellite. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
And other anomalous objects. Now, let's get to this. More videos.
Yeah, other anomalous rocks, you dork.
Videos right here at Third Phase of Moon that have yet to be explained. Let's just roll them right now.
Oh no. You can see it flickering lights. Oh, look, it's on an angle. Something being towed. Oh, that's ridiculous. Look at the stupid music. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. That's just annoying the hell at me. Drama. So what is it, guys? Is it like a someone angling the camera as they're filming it? It looks like that same guy, same location where they hoaxed the last one. With that guy up at the balcony, right? Would that be caught in live hoaxing with the house lights reflecting off a bit of glass? Is it the same thing again? I think UFO Interest may have talked about, is it this one though? It's on an angle there which you get with a drone, right? When you want to move forward, you angle it to get the propellers going the opposite direction. Kind of looks like it's some sort of drones or drone. Why is it faded, you know? That tells me it could be reflection. Yeah, I don't trust this footage whatsoever. Need multiple witnesses, multiple camera angles of it. See if we can zoom in. There we go, they're zoomed in. Okay, there's a helicopter flying past. It looks like it's some sort of event over a football stadium. That's what it looks like. Why would a helicopter be circling it? Or is it circling it? It's repeating this footage, it's passing it by. Couldn't be those fast track skydivers or golden knights, could it? All coming down at the same speed. But why would it be on an angle? Unless the camera was tilted. Let's see, I think UFO Interest may have done this one. Alright, so let's just go through his, just in case we come across it. Save us some time. Is already exposed to my timeline. Here's a fake video published on YouTube 2014. Old hoax channel Mr. UFO. With a fake UFO, a 3D bottle from minute 55. So let's have a quick look at that one. I don't think that's what we're looking at here. Ooh, it's got music. Don't want that. Susan's having a chuckle there. You can see I'm getting really annoyed with the cousin bros. They've changed, I tell you, they've changed. How much did they pay you? How much they send in free traffic your way? Okay, where's this footage? It's ATR3B. Pretty crappy footage at that. Look, 3 lights could be like high mask light even, right? Skydivers.
She said there was a strange humming noise, and you could even feel the noise in your chest, like a vibrating sensation. She managed to grab her camera and snap these few pictures before it accelerated and shot behind the clouds.
So this is apparently a model.
These could be some of the best photos of a UFO taken in the last few years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments
if
below.
That's a blow up of it, that's definitely got to be a fake, isn't it? What's that? Can't be the same thing. Surely.
Comments below. These few pictures before it accelerated and shot behind the clouds.
Have we got a better image of that at all? Let's just click and open it. What's this one here? More info you can read in my previous tweets. So is this the one? Oh, we just watched that, didn't we? Oh, right, here we go. Definitely looks like a fake. It's even got a strange wobble to it. Oh no. Should have seen it there between the branches, right? CGI. Definitely a model. We've seen that many times. You can even buy it online. Jesus, what rubbish people put up. So who's promoting that around now? So it's the same model, but it's brighter, darker, by the looks of it. Aha, yeah, you can't see the vertical bars going up. Twitter sucks. Yeah, you can see it's got the bars on the side there, same craft, same model, I should say. Oh well, that one's definitely correct. What else we got? Fake. Hey, he's got the same. Oh no, he's got a different stamp. Yeah, this. Whoop. Facebook page revealed. Tried to fool people publishing fake live videos they exposed a few days ago. Okay, let's just open that one up. Okay. Oh, right, the hole in the cloud thing. Oh, that's just a natural. And what they did is they edited some UFOs swimming around the outside of it. What's it called? A 4-streak hole. Yeah. It's recycled nonsense again. So what else we got here? They're not trying to hide anymore. All the upvotes. According to some hoax promoters, that's our third phase. Aha, here we go. Promotes a picture of a UFO gone viral on social media from South America. Someone trolled them using the fake UFO performed during Olympic Games Los Angeles 1984 closing ceremony, as you can see in this old video. Is that what we're looking at in this current video? What's it called? What was found in Antarctica? So it's not the same video. Is it the same thing though? I'll just close that down. So we have to click on that one. What they're talking about here. Olympics. Come on, you can do it. Why is it doing that again? Might have to disable that plugin for the time being, because Google don't offer you a option not to autoplay, which is what really is needed. So where's this object? Oh, there we go. Is that what we're looking at currently? Got reflection on. Is that the same thing? Kind of looks like a UFO. Did they have some sort of blimp that was shaped like a UFO with lights on it? Mm-hmm. 1984. Is there any other angles of it? Unfortunately not. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's that we're looking at. Looks similar. But I don't think so. Quality of the video looks better than 94 there. Looks very similar though. But we can say it's not an alien craft. Let's see what else we got. This looks like some old footage. It's got some scratches on it. Certainly, if it's a UFO, it's not doing anything amazing. You know, all those ones where, you know, that 9050 forecast that we listened to at the beginning of the show, he said it zoomed off at high speed. We don't see any of that in these videos. They simply just stopped filming. And of course we've got the filming through glass window, and it's got lots of bits and pieces and reflections on it. The sun's reflecting. Total waste of time.
There it goes. Whatever it is, flying in space, captured in ultra 4K footage. And look, super close up, boom, stops, and definitely darts off. It seems that it actually made contact with the ISS. Reverse it. There.
Someone filming through a window.
It's just kind of hovering there. And then, as soon as it touches the ISS, boom, something seems to have deflected it. Is this some kind of defense that the ISS has against UFOs?
I don't see anything bounce off it.
Is this some kind of defense that the ISS has against UFOs? Ultra 4K.
No, where's the bounce off? Can we see a bounce off?
Super close up, boom, stops, and definitely darts off. It seems that it actually made
really
contact
bad
with the ISS.
Video editing.
Reverse it. There. Look at this thing. It's just kind of hovering there.
I can't even see what they're looking at.
As soon as it touches the ISS, boom, something seems to have deflected it. Is this some kind of defense that the ISS has against UFOs?
Well, it could be just an ice crystal a jet of blast. Because IS has refrosters on it to correct the, what do you call it, orbit. Because it gradually gets pulled down towards Earth, and they've got to keep correcting it. So when they fire off the thrusters, the byproduct is water, which forms crystals. So yeah, more crappy video from them. So let's have a look at the next one. This could be the one with the Olympic thing that we're looking at.
In the next few hours, we're going to be locked down.
So, will we have time for UFO Stalker?
Kind of classic flying saucer captured
Probably
at night,
not.
and we're looking at this photograph very carefully, and we're seeing no deception, no Photoshop whatsoever. It seems to me that the photograph is genuine in origin. Let's get some closer looks at this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We're looking at it a little bit closer.
Come on, guys, you got busted by. There you go. Yep, that's third phase of the moon. You got busted by UFO of interest. I didn't even have to do that one, but even that was suspect.
And some of the people are already leaving comments that this is some kind of maybe mocked up helicopter or blimp in the sky, kind of fooling the masses. But then we're looking at it a little closer, and right now we don't see any kind of helicopter blades. And from what the eyewitness says is that this thing remained totally silent in the sky, stationary, and then it just took off.
So how many views have they got for this? 47,000 and 2.6 thousand upvotes. Has anyone told him that's bullshit? He's building his own spaceship. Good on you, mate. Make sure you film it and bring it to the web so we can have a laugh. Surely a lot of these things have never tried to hide. No, especially at a opening ceremony. Olympics. Or advertising balloon. They certainly don't want those hidden. They cannot be the sun. No, it's definitely not the sun, you're correct. Some of these craft are a result of reverse engineering. Or it could be a creation of someone's mind and called a human. We have noticed up in the sky they are just there. Yep, balloons tend to go there. You can clearly see something else, black object in the clouds. Yeah. Could it be a helicopter that's lifting it up? Who knows? Or keeping it in position. I saw the second one, black upside down pyramid. Okay. So did he film it? So we know the triangle shaped objects you see in the sky are these triangle solar balloons. That's probably what he saw there. Without the footage. I've witnessed these fallen plasma balls. Yeah. Well, until we see what he means, we don't really know what he's talking about there. So no one's actually said this is actually debunked. Alien intervention has been happening. Well, these people need to stop watching this channel. I really do. I know exactly what that is. I've seen it before. Hey, someone's seen it before. It's Project Bluebeam. No, terribly wrong. Awesome footage, someone says. We're in lockdown. Yeah, so you should be. You should be locked up. Damn, the universe is teeming with other life forms. Yeah, cousin bros. Oh, God. This is why it's called entertainment, guys, to make a mockery of the UFO topic that we all love. The first UFO looks pixelated along with the rest of the picture. Yes, it was 1984. It's been messed around with. The Enterprise is here. Looks like a Turkey UFO. I think he means it looks like the Turkish UFO. Dr. Lear footage, which has also been debunked by me as internal camera workings. Certainly evolved form life, yes. More life forms in that little object than on this webpage. Yes, I saw one a couple nights ago. I thought I had hemorrhoids and missing time. It all makes sense. Yes, I just love reading comments. They're just funny. Amazing sighting. Yeah, good on ya. What's the dark spot flipping up and left and behind? Don't ask them. They're not the UFO experts. It's a metallic in shape. Crack me up. So no one's actually said what it is. These are devils. Ah, right. Someone knows the truth. Religious Christian people. Most common terrain name. My daughter took a picture and didn't see that there is a round ring and a halo around it. Yeah, it's called compression artifacts. Digital artifacts. When you guys doing a radio show? Never, hopefully. I took a video of a UFO I could send you. I took it in my driveway the other night. I'm sure they would love to put it up and make some money off it. First photo reminds me the lamp that was photoshopped years ago. Yep. Are you calling them CGI artists there, mate? You might be. Well, my eyes are watering here. I'm not sure if it's from laughter or what. Is it still streaming all right? Yeah. So we could go through all those crazy comments here. So what else they got up? Is it just that one? Ooh, scary music.
From Jonathan. Apparently there's... Did you just see that? Something just detached from this object. We just posted last night anomalies over Ukraine of doing similar activity.
Oh no, not this again. No. Targeting flares, and they shoot at them and they come down because the parachute gets holes in it.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's remaining stationary in the sky. I don't think it's a flare.
That is weird as hell.
You wouldn't know shit from Clay, mate. Right.
Right, the original video to the left, and there it is, something detached. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, this is good footage. Good job, Jonathan, keeping an eye out in the skies. Something's happening, and guess what? This was there. There it goes again.
Let's see if I can get a bit quality.
Now, more footage coming in from Hawaii via Gemini Observatory. Take a look at this.
I'm trying to zoom in. They took it away.
The original video to the left, and there it is.
Target and flare above the cloud. Look,
Brent, what's your thoughts here?
It's a flare.
Yeah, this is good footage. Good job, Jonathan, keeping an eye out in the skies. Something's happening, and guess what? This was
probably the same one I bunked from UFO proof, right?
Now, more footage coming in from Hawaii via Gemini Observatory. Take a look at this.
Is that where they fire the beam into the sky to alignment?
Some people are saying there is some kind of unusual flash from above the Mauna Kea. There it is. We're doing a pause picture. It pretty much lights up the Mauna Kea. I don't think this is lightning.
No, it's a laser beam that they use on the telescopes, you dumb shits. Telescope. Laser. I think, is it blue? Or is it red? There we go, blue one. Or greeny blue. Go through thick cloud, it's going to disperse. That one's yellow. What else we got? Any blue ones? You can see here as it goes up. You can see that it scatters the light more as it goes up. Oh, there's a blue one. A blue flash. Lunar and Planetary Institute. Restore reflector. Laser ranging. There's another blue one. I suppose you'd have to look at the location. That's what it is, isn't it?
Again, is this some kind of thunderstorm action or something else, Brent?
I don't know.
No, definitely not. I don't think this is weather related. I think we're looking at something coming in from a higher angle than your typical lightning strike. We're up 14,000 feet.
It could be some with a laser pin as well.
This could be called the pillar. These are great shots right here. Look, it just lit up that whole hillside.
It still looks like a laser though.
More Gemini video coming in. It is in a time-lapse photography, so we're playing it in real time, but then we're going to slow it down again.
I don't think it's an ice pillar because you'd see it.
What's been known as the pillar. Now let's move to this. I received this video
next one
in the past hour as we're working on the Gemini along with the Lahaina footage, and now this comes in from Russia. What are we looking at? Listen to this.
They pan away already.
It's not making any sound whatsoever. I
don't know. We've got a crane in the background. Crane.
I don't know. I'm just.
Could it be an end of a crane?
Can you guys make out what we're looking at here?
Yeah, it could be end of a crane bucket. Is that what we're looking at? Can we see a cable? Looks kind of fake though, doesn't it? Yeah, keep it soon, mate. Keep it soon. Is that like a concrete bucket on the end where they pour concrete? Kind of looks like a cookie cutter effect of Photoshop or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's take a still from this right now. Let's get a closer look at what we're looking at.
Oh look, it looks
could this
so
be
false.
Like a weather monitoring balloon? I don't see no tether on it. You'd think it would just
it could be a crazy
away.
balloon.
This thing's
type
stationary.
One. Advertising
got
balloon.
a really good look at it.
Yeah. Come on, pan upwards, mate. Pan upwards. Go up.
It almost looks like there's
don't pan upwards, really.
360 circular thing, and then
it's this. It could be a tethered advertising balloon, couldn't it? these guys are just terrible. What else we got? Anything else? Oh, here we go. Another one. I think I'm going to need a break from these guys, so give me a hack.
Some people are saying this is a possible starcraft being caught out there. We're going to zoom it up, get a closer look.
The starcraft, guys.
Very bright.
Yeah.
It is definitely behind
Looks like it's a reflection on a window because it's passing in front of the trees.
Very hot indeed. What do you think it is, Brent? Possibilities?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. It looks very cool. I like what we're seeing right here, but I'm probably going to think this is early morning during a sunrise or maybe a sunset. We're not quite sure, but I think the sun's being clouded by some sort of atmosphere disturbance, clouds, and it's creating this disc-like object.
Definitely a
That's
sunrise,
my opinion, but it's very cool.
But there's a reflection on a window from behind. Or is it...
What do you guys think it is? Is this the sun hidden behind the clouds, peeking through? It definitely resembles a flying disc, in my opinion. But
yeah, look, it's just fading out. So it's definitely a light of some sort. What else we got?
It definitely doesn't resemble any kind of conventional aircraft, nor a drone. Is this the Space Force in action?
Yeah, let's just stick the force up your ass. Right, give him some space with some force. Yeah, so what are we looking at here? Bird? I don't know. CGI? Anything on third phase is bound to be CGI. Look, they've done some colorization. So poor quality, right? Kind of looks like it could be a drone, but it's on an angle. I don't know. Something being towed along. That's why with the angle. Some sort of kite.
So leave your comments below. Like. What do you think was captured over the skies around the world? The evidence you've seen.
News or explainable, not UFOs, that's for sure. So do we carry on? Is there any more here? They still can't explain this. So that's one that Scott did, wasn't it? No. Let's see what else we got. Just keep going through. I don't know, anyone can watch those guys, for seriously. But I have to do it because there's so much crap being put out. According to... what's this one? Nick Pope being exposed again. I love it. So what happened here? Involved by MUFON. A comment that the fake UFO is an interesting sighting with many of the things that make for a compelling case. Several witnesses, one of whom is ex-military, and of course the photograph, which is the icing on the cake. Epic fail, they reckon. So I'm not sure what case he's talking about. So we have to find out what that's related to. Nick Pope goes on these TV shows and makes a fool of himself. So it's part of this one here. Someone MUFON. Oh, that one, which is a UFO model. Yeah, we already looked at that one. Nick Pope said it was a good case. Oh, come on, Nick Pope, you can't be serious. That's certainly an epic fail then, if he's made that comment. So that was submitted to MUFON, was it? Certainly caught them out. What year was that when he made that comment? Former. He was just a receptionist. He wasn't anything. Ah, dear. Talk about resume pattern going on. He's a nobody. And what have we got here? Already exposed on my timeline. This Facebook live video sent me by a follower about a mysterious key sky phenomenon over Jerusalem. Has gone viral. It was old fake already debunked. Well, let's have a look at it. What the hell is that meant to be? Balloons being released? That's amazing what crap people put up. Absolutely rubbish. And we got another video here. Is it any better? Oh, terrible. I'll have to mute that one. Turn it down. So let's see, recycled version was cropped to hide the logo. I've already exposed it here. All awesome, yeah, another fraud channel. Yeah, so not worth wasting time on that one. So what else we got? Okay, we got a plain one. Let's have a look at that one. Someone sent this video, MUFON case. Right, he's got the case number this time. A weird light in the sky during flight delta. So we often get these ones where it's like the solar ray on the ground shining up at the clouds, and the sun reflecting off ice crystals. Phenomenon known as a glory. It's just the way it hasn't got the hole on the end there. So let's carry on. So we're looking at this spot of light here, I think. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. Okay, it looks like a sun reflection or something. It's a UFO, man. Come on, it's swamp gas. Certainly looks like some sort of light reflection. Something to do with the plane. Passing through the clouds, maybe. So let's have a look at this thing. Glory. Not a glory hole, people. Okay, so what do we got? Optical phenomenon resembling a iconic saint's halo. Okay. Glory around the shadow of a plane on a cloud. This looks very similar to what they're filming on the plane there without the shadow though. Was in front of the wings. Okay. Does it say how it's made? Rises due to warm interference of light internally reflected within. Small droplets. Not ice crystals this time, eh? Yeah, droplets of size. Angular size of inner and brightest ring is much smaller. Okay, we got some more pictures. Broken spectre. So it sort of loses some of the light when it hits horizon. That one's got a halo arc. Border light. Yeah, religion. Theory, scientific explanation is still the subject of debates. 1947, Dutch astronomer Heinrich van de Hoost suggested that the surface waves are involved. He speculated that colored rings of glory are caused by two-ray interference between short and long path surface waves. I'm not too sure what they mean by surface waves, because in the clouds, unless this happens on water as well. Solar glory, broken spectre. New theory by Brazilian physicist suggests that light energy beamed back by a glory originates mostly from classical waves, telling similarness in the paper to the Levinson wave coupling. What the hell? Okay. So it looks interference pattern of light. So they're talking about light waves, obviously. Yeah. So we don't want to know too much about that. It's a bit technical. But it's pretty cool, though. And what else we got? What's that one there? Section 51s. Now they're still doing the rounds on Facebook. Oh, dread music. So people being conned by this one. Where is it? Oh, that one in the cloud. Yeah, I've seen that before. CGI. Okay, what else we got? Alright, just various images about it. And that's it from UFO Interest for a couple of weeks, is it? Since I looked at them. Not much going on there. Okay, what else we got? Oh, look at this guy, they're doing some videos now. Action zombie movie, they certainly are zombies. 1.5 hours. I think you'd be brain dead after watching that hour and a half. I wouldn't dare it, people. And of course this is the model UFO one, was it? Might have to wrap up here, guys. I was going to go through some UFO stalker.
Well, it seems the world's on a lockdown, but that doesn't stop the UFO sightings as they come in. We've got some killer UFO sightings that you may have missed, and we're going to be sharing them with you tonight. And it's going to be a wild ride, so buckle up, sit back, and
see, obviously that's a plane being lit up by the setting sun, and it's on time lapse.
Some of these videos that could prove that we're not alone.
Yeah.
Let's get to this.
We got airplanes in
from
the
the
sky.
YouTube channel.
Not alone.
Jai TV captured something strange while flying over Europe. Take a look at this.
Oh yeah. Really great footage, mate. Filmed the wrong way around. What a dork. Okay, so what are we looking at? Looks like another plane with contrail, right? Is my gut feeling on that one. But a black contrail this time. Yep.
Right, we have permission from the source who
Plane
shot it,
going
the
up
Side
and
TV has
rotating
a YouTube channel,
around.
and while he's flying over Europe, he filmed
Yeah.
something interesting, he states. Basically, a mysterious creature is flying with a plane that sped over Latvia.
Oh my god, you can see it's another plane in the distance. This is where we again use Flight Radar 24. Just overlay it and see if there's any planes in that angle of view. So again, debunked, busted, bullshit. I just can't stand these guys. Nonsense. How many stamps can we have for them? Liar, fraud, whole shebang. So what else we got? Anything else? Same thing, is it? Yeah, assuming it.
Behind its weight, but again, this thing kind of comes
Plane
up and
taking
is going
off,
in one
rotating
direction,
into the right
immediately
direction.
changes into another. It's closer, and you really don't.
Oh, come on. How many likes did they get on that one? 1.3. 24,000 views. 758,000 subscribers. What's wrong with you people?
Don't see any kind of craft emitting these kind of black trails behind it. It's basically coming from its own source. Very strange indeed. I want to get your
I can't stand it.
A rock across water, but this thing's flying above the air that just entered our atmosphere and it's burning up. There is no tell, which I found kind of fascinating, but I do believe this is a meteor. It does turn green at the end, that's what he states, and meteors often do have a greenish tint. It depends on the composite of what this meteor is made of. I like this sighting. We're going to share it either way. If this is a meteor or a UFO, it's something that's in the
looks
sky
like a
that
plane
I think
to
everybody
me,
needs to see.
coming down to land.
It's a phenomenon.
There are a lot of people within the day of April 4, 2019, just earlier this month, captured the same thing. So everybody do their research, take a look at it, and
well, you guys don't.
Is this just space junk possibly falling out of the sky?
You don't do any
in our
research. You
atmosphere?
talk.
Some people dare say it may be a UFO.
Talkies. New word I made up.
Let's
talks.
get to this next
Not dorks, but they're talking heads, so they were calling talks.
video. I gotta say, this is pretty interesting. Take a look at this.
Yeah, not really interesting at all. Okay, what are we looking at, guys? A funny looking cloud, what? Come on, zoom in on it, you turkeys.
Again, we had to mute the audio just a tad because of the fact that he had some music in the background.
It's a crazy shaped cloud, obviously.
Some of the original audio captured by Kenneth Grooms.
It's one of those sphere balls ones that they get with ice crystals that's breaking up. And it's the same colour as the other clouds. What do you call it? Sphere balls or something. Sphere cloud. Well, I don't know what the name of it is. There we go. We got some pictures instantly come up. One of these ones that's breaking up in the sky. Some cool ones here though. Oh crap. Want that one there. Look at that one. That's pretty cool. Mother Nature at the finest. Over a city there. It's funny ice crystal shape. Those ones were over Japan. I remember seeing reporting on that one when it happened. So there you go. You got one here that's sort of got the swirly pattern happening where it's breaking up. Have you got any others? But anyway, that's what it is. Another one debunked. I got the fraud things up. Should have told me I had it up still. Debunked. I would have overlaid the picture. Hopefully you got to see enough through the stamp. Okay, let's move on. And that's it, is it? Suppose we could wrap up for the day. Yeah, it's amazing how long it takes to go through all this nonsense. Well, this is one, obviously, a plain contrary. You can see it expanding on a time-lapse video. You see long streak is definitely long exposure. 10 seconds probably.
Take a look at this. Nicholas just submitted this, and it's coordinates to Google Mars. Take a look at this. We're on the surface here, and what are we looking at? This black, smoky trail off this bright, glowing object. This is definitely an anomaly going on here. Nicholas says it could be some kind of tower. Is this a tower? It definitely looks more like something just crash landed on the surface of Mars. Also, up here on the
could it be
bottom
the rover?
right-hand corner, there's something very similar to this. This is kind of weird.
Which way are the shadows going? Anyway,
blurry image, but definitely some kind of shadow going on over there as well. But this really stands out. What are we looking at?
Could be a meteorite.
Kind of UFO crash.
Yeah,
I'd like NASA
UFO
to explain
equals
what
meteorite.
is going on, because it definitely looks out of the ordinary on the surface of planet
so where's
Mars
the
here.
shadows
Look at
going?
this. Look at, as we rotate the image,
I suppose we've got no
you get
coordinates.
some kind of perspective of whatever this is, and it definitely is a mystery going on planet
we've got
Mars.
some
I
coordinates
like
on
when
this one.
people have their eyes on Google Maps, Google Earth.
Yeah, so let's plug it in for the last thing to have a look at. God, I got to stop analysing these guys because they're driving me batty. Whatever nonsense there before we close it down. Zombie movie. Let's just have a quick laugh at this one. I got the stamps turned off, haven't I? A movie. Well, they actually paid some actors, haven't they? But it's not as funny if they're not in it. At least Blake acting in it. It looks very amateurish, but anyway. Just close that down now. Google Earth. I need to bring up. I need a drink. So we got 3 watching. All the rest watching Third Phase of the Moon. What a bunch of suckers out there. Anyway. Oh, that one. We already debunked this one, have we? Hang on. That can't be it. That's funny. It won't go. Google Moon. Mars, wasn't it? How do we switch that? Forgotten how to do it. Which one was it now? That one. Mars. Now it might work. Now search. Is it working? Don't seem to be going for some reason. Did I miscut it after all that? I don't know. Looks alright. Doesn't like that format, maybe. Oh well, looks like we ain't gonna be able to do much. Right up, this you can see how it stitched together. Stitch, stitch, stitch from lots of images. That one even hasn't got colour. Yeah, damn it. Should have kept it open now after all that. Let's just check that I copied it right. Zombie, nope. Okay. Looks like we have to go back again. Whereabouts was it? That one. Did I cut it right? It looks different now. Try that this time. It might be right. It's not going. Why is it not going? Let's try Google Maps then. Oh, that doesn't work, does it? Because there's no Google Maps for Mars, as I know. Well, looks like we're going to wrap it up there. I'm not too sure why it's not going. 13. Looks like I copied it alright. South northwest. And there was a package where you can convert it. I got it here somewhere. Converts GPS to other formats. Where is it? One of the tools I've got. EMT. Volume. Acceleration. Pretty sure I had it bookmarked. Can't see it though. Whether maybe I didn't bookmark it. Let's see. Bookmarks. History. No. Where's bookmarks? There. Can't see it popping up. I thought I had it in my selection to make it really easy, and I can't see it. Maybe it got lost. This GPS converter. Okay. This might be the one. Let's see if it works. Trying to map it to Earth though. Longitude, latitude. So how do we use that? Doesn't seem to be working. Maybe it needs a comma between. Nope. Everything goes to plan, does it? Try that maybe. Degrees, minutes, and seconds. Looks like you might have to use all that together. GPS. Okay, try that. One number. I bet it's meant to have a comma between or something. Be something simple. Why it's not working. Search. No, it's not moving. So yeah, I don't know. Purposely done probably. If anyone knows what it is, what I'm missing, post it on the side. I can't see any other thing I can try. Maybe we could type in Mars, maybe. Got a feeling there's going to have to be a comma or something there between those two numbers. Mars. Right. So, what are they saying here? Found them. Okay. Found what? Oh, there's the time going. Oh no. We covered that one last time. That's not the Mars one. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah, what are we missing? Can't be this hard. It's got to be a comma. Source link key line. Two keys. You've done something to it. Comma. Nope. Why is it not working? Unless this is the location that we're at, but it normally puts a flag on. Let's see. Antenna farm. Of course, that's on Earth, but now we're on Mars. And that's meant to be in Las Vegas. So you think the bookmarks would know that what map you're looking at? That seems to be a bug. Yeah, search. It's not working. Gotta be these funny characters in between then, isn't it? So let's see. Degrees maybe. Don't seem to be moving. Nope. So how's it written normally? Oh, come on. These. How's it normally written? Looks similar. Should work then, shouldn't it? Of course, now I've modified it. Set quotes or quotes or star sign. It's got a, is that comma or full stop there? 49. Dot 66. I'm not sure if that's a star in. Could be the same. Yeah, I don't know. Looks close. Should work, shouldn't it? Nope, beats me why it's not working. Something's been modified to it. I bet if we do that, it won't go. Won't move, no. Oh well, we can't look. Time to wrap up. We give up. Did anyone else manage to get it working? Did I see security mentioned? Anyway, enough for today anyway. If anyone can get that working. So what's happening tomorrow? That's a good question. Robert's not doing his show, but maybe I'll do a 2 PM free for all if you want to come along. And maybe we can look at some UFO Stalker that we didn't look at today. So yeah, we covered a fair bit of interesting stuff today. Is it still working though? Yeah, it looks like it's still working on this screen. So I'm just going to wrap up with the end credits now, see if it works, and get a drink and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, thanks Susan for joining us and moderating there. And we'll see you tomorrow perhaps, see how I feel. So yeah, take care everybody, stay away from Corona. But you can drink the Corona beer. Thanks for liking and sharing and joining us and commenting after the show. That should be ending now. Oop. Need a big window. There we go. Type it.